Oh, let's go. Yes, sir. Okay, you are live.
Welcome to the Monday, August 11th, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting. This meeting is now called to order. Ms. Whidden, will you conduct roll?
Supervisor Lewis.
Present.
Supervisor Day.
Here.
Supervisor McDaniel.
Here.
Supervisor Lyons.
Here.
Chair Ayers.
Here. We will now offer an invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Those attending are not required to participate, but if you'd like to join us, please stand.
Dear Father, we come humble and thankful for your many blessings on our community. We ask that you watch over our children as they start back to school. Please keep them safe on their way to and from and while at school. We hope they have a great year. We ask for your guidance and leadership as we conduct the business of the county tonight. We strive to do what is best for the county and its citizens. We ask all these prayers in your name. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will hold citizens' comments near the beginning of the meeting. We will do our best to take citizen comment remotely. There are two options for citizens to offer comment. To join by telephone, you may dial in to one of the numbers listed on the county website. Webinar ID and password are there for your convenience. Citizens wishing to simply view the meeting live or after the fact can do so on the Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors YouTube channel, also available on the county website. If you wish to make a citizen comment as a Zoom meeting participant, you will use the raise your hand feature. You can press the raise hand button on the bottom of your Zoom window or press *9 if you are calling in by telephone. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No, ma'am.
We will now welcome citizen comments. When your name is called, please address the board at the podium stating your first and last name and magisterial district. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes. There's a timer on the table for your convenience.
Yes, we have Deborah from the Buffalo district.
Hello, Deborah Woodcock. As the Board of Supervisors will know, when the Washington and Lee Golf Course special zoning exemption was approved by the Board of Supervisors, certain conditions were attached. And one of those was that the golf course do testing. We now have the first results are now publicly available from this testing. And it's a great concern that one of the wells is testing positive for PFAS. It tests positive for 11 PFAS chemicals, and some are reading at very high levels, in some cases, an order of magnitude greater than the standards for drinking water enacted by the EPA. So this is a big concern. We're just getting this data, so we're still trying to look at it and analyze it. But as you know, once contaminants go into groundwater, they often stay there. And this is a concern. It's a concern for the residents who are the neighbors who are on wells, who rely on safe water for drinking. It's a concern for the stream and all the organisms that are in it. It's a concern for, that's Woods Creek. And it's also a concern for the Maury River. So it's also of real concern that the golf course, in spite of having this information, is going ahead with applying to over 100 acres herbicides to kill grass. And that is happening right now. Today and tomorrow, they are applying these chemicals. When we would hope that prudence would call for at least a review of the data before proceeding. So I would like to request that the board put on the agenda for the next meeting, this issue, so that we can address it and have a little more, we'll hopefully have all more solid analysis and more clear results that we can discuss at that time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Woodcock.
There was no one else signed up.
Is there anybody online? Okay. Is there anyone else in the here that would like to speak that didn't have a chance to sign up? We'll move on to the approval of the July 28th, 2025 minutes. Are there any questions or comments, gentlemen? If not, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Aye.
And I vote yes. County Financial Report and Appropriation Resolution, Mr. Harrison.
Yes, there is nothing from the school division this meeting. For the county, we have request to approve a resolution authorizing the payment of bills and additional appropriations. The total amount of bills this period is $716,643.11. Additional appropriations include $18,854, and that's for fire and rescue for the new EMS, regional EMS thing for the pharmaceuticals. Included in your packet was the revenue and expenditure chart through June 30th of 2025, and also the tax collection history for non-property taxes. FY 2025 revenue totaled $64,479,475, or $7,751 more than budgeted. I think that's in the 10,000ths of a percent. FY 25 expenditures total $61,949,965, or $2,521,759 less than budgeted. It's on a cash basis. FY 25 ended with a surplus of $2,529,510. $1,097,638 was carried over from 25 to 26, leaving the effective 25 surplus at $1,431,872. We are still working with the school division to close out FY 25 and the capital escrow carryovers. So there might be some adjustments to that. I just want to note that those FY 25, those are on a cash basis. The audit, when it's done, will be on a modified accrual basis. Of course, 100% of FY 25 has passed. Sales tax amounting to $4,395,900, or 99% of the estimated budget. Meals taxes amounted to $3,175,960, or 94% of the estimated budget. Lodging taxes amounted to $1,549,196, or 84% of the estimated budget. Emissions taxes amounted to $337,982, or 97% of the estimated budget. And cigarette taxes amounted to $189,215, or 84% of the estimated budget. County and school division staff continue to attend training for the new Tyler ERP, and we're still working on data conversions and building out the chart of accounts on the county side. The school has completed theirs, and I think I mentioned before, we're more modeling our chart of accounts off of the schools to make it the transition easier. Any questions?
Gentlemen, any questions? If not, is there a motion to adopt the resolution? Mr. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Consideration of the grant agreement with the town of Goshen. Mr. Suter.
Thank you. At your last meeting on July 28th, I shared a request from the town of Goshen to share an amount equivalent to 50% of the admissions tax resulting from the Buckingham Branch 611 train in September and October. I included that report for this package just as reference. And after board discussion, an ad hoc committee consisting of Supervisors Lewis and Lyons was formed to work with staff and Goshen Mayor Tom McGraw and Vice Mayor Steve Bickley, who are with us tonight, to work out an agreement to recommend to both governing bodies. And last week, Mr. Dryden and I worked with Supervisors Lewis and Lyons to come to an agreement to recommend, and that draft is included in your package. I shared it with Mayor McGraw and Vice Mayor Bickley, who agreed to recommend that to Goshen Town Council. The agreement specifies that any resulting funding to the parties would be applied to infrastructure projects or infrastructure improvements, water system upgrades, or any other lawful governmental purpose. And the last one with a caveat provided that if it's not infrastructure or water system upgrades, that the two parties would agree on the use of the funds for those purposes, for any other governmental purposes. The agreement is in front of you for consideration. I'd be happy to take any questions that you might have, as I'm sure Supervisors Lewis and Lyons probably will too.
Yeah, I'm glad. I think we got a good product, so I'm still in favor.
Anybody else? Any questions?
And I didn't know if it was appropriate to ask gentlemen from Goshen if they had any comment.
Okay. Well, if everyone's happy, you were going to say?
I'd like to thank Mr. Dryden and Dr. Lyons for working quickly to hash it out and get the draft that we have in front of us. And so I'd like to move that we approve the agreement as submitted.
I'll second.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Lyons,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel,
Yes.
Mr. Day,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you all for that. Sorry.
No, I was going to say thank you, and I'm just going to take that to assume that you're authorizing us to finish the execution. So
Yeah, I think the motion is to execute the agreement. So, yep. Railroad discussion, Mr. Suter.
Yes, you'll probably recall that last January 30th, during a joint meeting with governing bodies of the county in Buena Vista and Lexington, one of the topics was a RAWRO presentation wherein RAWRO Chair Joey Jones and Executive Director Chad, drawing a blank was his last name.
I'm sorry, Chad Coffey. Yeah.
I was thinking of Chad Whitmore when I said it, but yeah, Chad Coffey. They presented information about the history of the organization, services it provides, and there was discussion. Let's see. During the January joint meeting, they also proposed a regional strategic planning process to help guide their future steps and decisions, with the understanding that depending on outcomes, capital funding may be required for facility expansions. At the end of the meeting, the governing bodies agreed to meet amongst themselves, each individually, and discuss each community's recreational needs and aspirations before coming back together later in the year. This item is intended to provide the board with an opportunity to further discuss this topic from the county's perspective, and with thoughts and potentially goals with regards to RAWRO's future planning and direction. As noted in the meeting minutes that were attached, again, a joint follow-up regional meeting was contemplated. Boiling this down, I think the question is, would the board support a regional recreation strategic plan commissioned by RAWRO? And if so, how would it be funded? Lexington City Council discussed this topic in their first July meeting, and I'll paraphrase the outcome shared by City Manager Tom Carroll. Lexington is willing to participate or to pursue a regional study or strategic plan as long as the results are actionable and with realistic goals, and that there is regional support from all moving ahead, all three parties. Buena Vista City Council recently met as well, and I talked with City Manager Jason Tyree, and he reported that BV also supports the study as long as the other partners are in, like City of Lexington. The only difference between the two cities at this point involves the potential funding source. Tom Carroll suggested considering use of excess bond proceeds from the social services project that's underway, and BV prefers to use general fund revenues or reserves. So this is an opportunity at this point for the board to discuss that and provide any direction that you might have to staff if you would like to move forward or not, or so it's just an opportunity for discussion.
All right. Thank you. Gentlemen,
I think it's a very good topic. There's lots of need, as we know, as Raro knows, as schools know. So I support a commission or a committee of sorts to try to herd all those cats and, get some representative from, those agencies in the same room to discuss. I think it could be a great thing for our jurisdiction and cities also, here at the, we said it many times, we'll say it again, at the, confluence of two interstates. I mean, we've got people driving by here that would want to have a facility to play in beyond even our own needs. So I don't think there's too much we can do to get as many facilities as we can. So I'm certainly for it. I know Mr. McDaniel has been working on one, some options for county kids. So that could be and there's some foundation in that committee there, David, some people already. I don't know if we want to get the two exactly together, but
I will add that, one of the questions that should always be answered before it's asked, because I don't have an answer for yet, but what would such a study cost? And I was thinking about that. And until you have a scope that's agreed upon, it's going to be difficult to estimate a cost. If the scope ends up being very, very large, the cost may go up. If the scope is simpler on a study, then the cost would likely go down. But I think the first thing to do would be to develop and agree on a scope of services that you'd want to see the outcomes from on a study.
to be clear, we need a committee to do that.
Well, I did talk with the two city managers and suggested that perhaps I think everybody agrees that the DSS social services format worked pretty well. It was, I think at the time, I'm paraphrasing here and trying to remember, but I think it was up to two elected officials from each partner. Or it could just be, I think the city of Lexington chose just to send Jim Howitz, the city manager, to sit on that committee and represent Lexington City Council. And then Billy Fitzgerald and Jason Tyree with Buena Vista were the Buena Vista representatives. And of course, Chair Ayers and Supervisor Lyons were the county's selection from the governing body, and then I served there as well. So it was a mix and match. No hard and fast rules other than you can't have more than two members of an elected body and together in a meeting without having a meeting called of that governing body.
Alrighty. And it seems committee for scope, and then until you decide scope, you don't know what cost is. So,
And again, this is just a suggestion in a conversation I had with the city managers. I feel pretty sure that the councils will support that as well. But of course, they'd have to support sending, creation of this committee as well. This is just a suggestion at this point.
gentlemen, is everybody agreed along that path? Anybody else have other thoughts?
No, I mean, I think you need a committee and to drive the scope of the project because, Robert does a outstanding job for our community and our kids. But the three governing bodies would be the one to fund this, so they need to have input on that from the start. So I would think it would be prudent to have that committee and to work on the scope and what the desired outcome of such a report would be. Because I agree with what the other two councils have said, there's no reason to do a study if you're just going to stick it on a shelf and never do anything about it. So you should have some thoughts going into it about what is obtainable and what is doable versus just having an organization go get a study and bring it back to us and we say, no, I can't do this, can't do that, on the back end. So.
Thank you for putting yourself forward, Mr. McDaniel. I look forward to your report.
Again, it's up to two and we have a liaison, so.
Well, I certainly don't mind serving on that. I would actually enjoy that. I feel a good fit for that. But is there somebody else that would like to be on that? Maybe Mr. McDaniel, maybe turn for two.
If I'm needed, I'll be happy to help.
All right.
Second.
Is that what we need? Is that all we would like to discuss? We have 6 minutes.
One thing that I would suggest too is, of course, if this was to be commissioned, it would be through RARO, funded by the localities, and depending on the cost. I mean, you have to come back once you figure out the scope and the cost, then you have to approve moving ahead.
Would the study be cut into thirds, or will we do it along our participation rates?
We haven't really discussed that, about how it would be. That would be something that I could talk with city managers on and see what we come up with. I mean, we've got precedent for a lot of different models there. But I would advise, probably, since it's RARO driven, I think this goes back to January, and if I can remember correctly, I think it was Supervisor McDaniel said, RARO should have their hand on the wheel steering. They're our recreation form group, and they should be driving this. What I'm getting at is I think that Chad Coffey would probably be a good one to be on that committee as well.
All right, to move this along, do we need to vote on anything now? Do we need to vote on 2 members? Can that just be chosen? If
you do that, that would be welcome, and do that subject to approval and of the 2 city councils that they are also going to approve folks. I don't want to tell them what to do. This is a suggestion, and I could take that back to Tom and Jason and say, hey, can you all appoint some folks?
If I may, so on issues as to whether or not you need to notice a meeting, if it's an ad hoc committee without giving any powers of the board itself, then there would not be a need to notice the meeting. In that situation, I'd probably be more comfortable not to actually have a formal resolution establishing it, as rather as just, have 2 volunteers from the board willing to do that. So unless county administrator has another reason for it, I'd prefer not to have a resolution on it. Unless you do want to notice all meetings, which is also an option.
There's certainly nothing to hide there at all. It becomes a little onerous trying to get that many people together and notice these things, but it's either way, it's perfectly fine.
I think we have consensus as to who the volunteers might be.
Sorry?
Okay. Thank you.
I was going to say, Ms. Ayers, I had that minor board report. I might.
That would be
give
great.
that if that's okay.
Fill in that
in
4
this-
minutes?
or less. I think you all got an invitation, but it was probably not exactly clear, as I learned a lot from going to it, even though serving with MSA, it's a MSA board report. There was a an association called the American Waterworks Association. And of course, each state sort of has their own chapter. So this was the Virginia chapter of something called the American Waterworks Association, which I did not know. The Virginia section had an event in Richmond there and pulled in DEQ, which has let's see, 3 or 4 different offices under it that manage different parts of water: Office of Water Withdrawal, Office of Water Supply, and Office of Drinking Water. So it's all educational for me as to who handles what within those things. But the high points for MSA and for points of note, I should say, for MSA, and then how that could affect Rockbridge County is I know we've talked about the raw water pump station, which is where the water plant has pulls water out of the Maury River and then cleans it to provide to PSA and Lexington City. So that facility is currently grandfathered in a permit for withdrawal, and so there's lots of factors as we go to upgrade that, get it out of the floodplain, have a generator, things that you would think might already exist, but don't. So, but when that is touched, that will trigger the need for a new permit for both capacity as well as just pulling water out. So the capacity, I think, is the major part that is relevant to the county as far as economic development is concerned. We currently have, pretty sure it's 4 million gallons. We're only using at this point about 2. When I say we, I mean MSA. So there's more capacity as it stands now, but when you go to apply for a new permit, the fear is the Office of Water Withdrawal will say, well, you've only been using 2, so you only need 2. Well, what if new hotel is built? What if there's a industrial park, that would require more water? So there's lots of factors that go into there. So just want to have everybody be aware of that as we go along. Those are the challenges. And there is the Office of Water Supply within Virginia Department of DEQ is called for a regional water supply plan. And in our case, our Central Shenandoah Planning District Commission is handling that for us. So MSA is working with them to get that done, just as a matter of procedure, of course. And then finally, some more on a financial note, the Office of Drinking Water underneath the Virginia Department of Health, not DEQ this time, manages what's called the FCAP, Financial and Construction Assistance Program, which is a financing fund for projects that waterworks people need to do. So I just wanted y'all to be aware that the MSA is, as the county is, actively pursuing federal funds. They're also actively pursuing Commonwealth funds that might be available to help us with projects, and have had some good success. Director Combs has built good relationships through the statewide boards that he sits on, and is well known and respected. So we've had some good success so far with, they start out as maybe low interest loans, but then they're turned into full loan forgiveness. That's how the process works. So there's a little bit about what's going on over at MSA.
Thank you very much for that. Oh, look at that. Good timing.
Time management, let's time management.
All right, we will move on to the public hearings. Let's see, who will be handling? Mr. Wetmore.
Just walked in the room. Change crew. You can. Ms. Hanson.
I will turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. So we have two public hearings scheduled for this evening's meeting. The first is a special exception permit, Lance and Lauren Randolph, 722 Union Run Road, Lexington, Virginia, have made an application for a special exception permit to develop and operate a licensed child care center in the agricultural and general uses A2 zoning district. The property is owned by Lance and Lauren Randolph and is located on the east side of Union Run Road, Route 674, at the intersection of Union Run and Ross Road, Route 687. The property is further identified as tax map number 74-11-2, consisting of 2.7 acres per tax records. And it's located in the Buffalo Magisterial District. The property is located in the agricultural and general uses A2 zoning district per section 603.03-23 of the County of Rockbridge Land Development Regulations. Licensed child care centers are used by special exception in the A2 zoning district. The Planning Commission held its public hearing on July 9th, 2025. There was no public comment received. The Planning Commission recommended approval with the following conditions, and those conditions are in the ordinance packet as Exhibit A. And then also we have the Randolphs here this evening to talk about the proposal and their plans. Would you like me to go through the conditions?
That's usually what we have
Okay.
done, and that I think that would be wise.
All right. Condition number 1, all child care activities shall take place in the existing dwelling and surrounding property, which is 722 Union Run. Approval to serve 5 through 12 children, exclusive of the provider's own children and any children that reside in the home, contingent upon meeting the licensing requirements of 63.2-1701 of the Code of Virginia. Condition number 3, the property address is 722 Union Run and further identified as tax map 74-11-2, 2.7 acres per tax record, shall remain as the primary residence of the owners and operators of the child care center. Condition number 4, signage shall be limited to no more than 6 square feet. Condition number 5, compliance with section 1303.03 general lighting requirements and section 1303.04 general design requirements of the County of Rockbridge Land Development Regulations. Condition number 6, approval contingent on Virginia Department of Transportation, Rockbridge County Building Department, Virginia Department of Education, and all applicable state and federal regulations. Condition number 7, no parking in the VDOT rights of way on Union Run and Ross Road.
Thank you very much. All right.
And at this time, if
The Randolphs?
the
or
chair,
Randolphs
yes, the
like this?
Randolphs will come up and present. Come on.
Good evening.
Let's get started. They had VDOT come back out to their last inspection. So we are compliant with them. Just can't get the physical permit until 80% of the grass is grown back. So I have straw, seed, everything else, trying to get that to take.
Can you speak into the mic?
that in.
There we go. So
That a little
everyone
better?
can hear you.
Okay. As far as the Department of Education, they were waiting for us to have the meeting today. So if you all approve us, then we will send her an email and she will be out Wednesday morning.
And that process just, they come and just clear your
Basically,
site.
they come do a tour around the house, make sure that we have all our paperwork together. And so I have our sample plus all the other envelopes we've given to the different parents that want their kids to come. And yeah, just kind of like a safety check because we do have goats and chickens that they're not having straight access to the kids, safety wise. And then because we do have a pool, we did put up a 4-foot non-climbing fence. So they just have to come check on all that.
See. Okay. Right. Is there anything else you'd like to? I loved your outdoor space.
Oh, well, thank
That
you.
That was impressive.
Appreciate it. And does anyone have any questions?
What experience with childcare do you have?
Well, we have 5 kids. My wife worked at the preschool in Waynesboro. She was offered a job at the Yellow Brick Road facility here and had to decline it because we had a little one at that time. So the cost of that with the time she was going to have to work with our older 3 at that time was just going to be too much of a conflict.
I don't know that it's in our purview necessarily, but listening to the plan commission, you know, as you went through those steps, we talk, there's talk of the number of children that you would have exclusive of your own, right? Are there requirements on ages? In other words, if you have 5, can they all be the same age, or are there brackets or something in there?
So
Top of a point system.
So there's a point system from 6 weeks to 15 months. It is 4 points. From 16 months to 23 months, they're 3 points. From 2 years to 5, they're 2 points. And then after 5, until they turn 10, they're 1 point. So we are allotted 16 points each. So according to however that breaks down, if we have 4 infants, you're at 16 points. That's all I could have. And then if she had, 7 2-year-olds, she's 16 points. But 12 is the maximum amount of kids we can have. So it doesn't matter points wise. 12 is it regardless.
And I wasn't sure that you were going to be there as well.
Yes.
Originally, but that is now.
It's a husband and wife team.
Kudos. I mean, we desperately need childcare as a parent with older children. We had the same issues when ours were younger. So and so you all can manage your own and 5 more. I had a trouble with 2. So I'm just being honest. You're younger than I am, so I guess that's how.
It's still challenging, but that's the fun part.
Okay. And that's not something that we really can consider anyway, is it, Neil? I mean, that's regulated by some.
The numbers are as they step up,
But that's
based
regulated by a
on
state agency, not
based
us.
on the Virginia Department of Education. Mhm.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are no other questions, comments? Is there? I'm sorry, Mr. Studer, were you saying something? Oh, yes, I
was getting
will
ready to check.
open the public meeting, the public hearing. Is there anybody?
There's no one signed up.
And there's no one with a hand raised.
Okay. Anybody else in the room that would like to speak on this topic? If not, I will close the public hearing. And if there are no other questions or comments, is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Hey, Mr. Lyons?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Aye.
And I vote yes. Good luck. Thank you. All right, next.
All right, the second public hearing is John C. and Margaret B. Holmes, 159 Anderson Farm Road, Rockbridge, Virginia, have made an application for a special exception permit to continue operating a commercial kennel in the agricultural and general uses A2 zoning district. The property is owned by John C. and Margaret B. Holmes and is located on the south side of Anderson Farm Road, Route 712, approximately 0.314 miles west of the intersection of Anderson Farm Road, Route 712, and Backdraft Road, Route 729. The property is further identified as tax map number 36-A-97A, consisting of 5.08 acres per tax records and is located in the Walker's Creek Magisterial District. The property is located in the Agricultural and General Uses A2 zoning district per section 603.03-5 of the County of Rockbridge Land Development Regulations. Commercial kennels are used by special exception in the A2 zoning district. The Planning Commission held its public hearing on July 9th, 2025. There was one public comment received. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the application with the following conditions. Condition number 1, all breeding, raising, and caring for dogs shall take place in the existing dwelling, 159 Anderson Farm Road, Rockbridge, Bass. Breeding shall be limited to Bichon Frises, limited to 4 female dogs and 2 male dogs for breeding, excluding puppies 16 weeks or younger, which shall include visiting stud dogs. Condition number 4, boarding and grooming operations shall be prohibited. Condition number 5, solid waste shall be disposed of at a permitted landfill. Condition number 6, signage shall be limited to no more than 6 square feet. Condition number 7, compliance with section 1303.03 general lighting requirements and section 1303.04 general design requirements of the Rockbridge County Land Development Regulations. And Mr. Holmes is present for questions and additional information.
Mr. Holmes?
How y'all doing?
Thank you. Do you have any comments that you would like to make?
No, I just hoping you see this favorably. I basically just live in my home with 6 little beautiful dogs and would like to continue that way.
Gentlemen, are there any questions you have for Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes, I have one question. It came to my attention that I believe it was one of your dogs ended up in the our SPCA. Is that correct?
Let me explain. I had all of my male dogs have been from the original dog, Prince Robert Dudley. And we have, I've continued the male line. A friend of mine got a dog from me, a female, and wanted to breed it. And of course, could not breed with mine. And there were none in the area. I had a breeder in West Virginia who offered me a male dog. And I got it from her. This poor dog, I don't believe was ever allowed out of its kennel before it came to me. It had problems, severe problems. It basically caused the death of one of my older male dogs. It would attack the other dogs. I mean, not real harshly, but it was a constant chaos with him around. I tried to sell him. I gave him away twice. Both times he came back. I basically was at my wit's end. He was it was very close to him being put down. And I tried to give him a chance at life. And that was going to the ASPCA. Didn't like it, didn't want to have to do it. It was not, his breeder would not take the dog back. I had very little choices, and they weren't good ones.
All righty, are there any other questions for Mr. Holmes? I guess I would just say that this is one issue that we find not only that it's a risk that we have with all breeding and facilities, is that dogs are produced and then the community has to bear the burden of placing those dogs or putting those dogs down or caring for those dogs. And
I
that
work very
is a-
hard at finding good homes for any dogs that are produced in my home. I limit as best I can the number of dogs that are produced in my home. I felt bad about letting Fred go. He loved me. He just didn't love anybody who was around me. I don't have a good answer for it. I mean, I did the best for him that I felt I could.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
But this request is to continue operating the kennel, right?
I'm sorry?
This request is to continue operations of the kennel.
Yes.
So is that the only issue that how long have you been doing it? And is that the only issue that you've had with it?
Let me explain. I never knew I had a business. I thought I had a house full of lovely little puppies that once in a while presented me with puppies that I needed to place. And that's what I did. I never saw it as a business. I don't really see it as a business now. It was clarified to me that I needed to take certain steps to straighten things out. And that's what my lawyer and I have attempted to do. I don't know what other answer I can give you.
Well,
How many puppies have you had and how many?
I have been doing this for 15 years, somewhere in that neighborhood. 15 to 20. I would have to sit down to figure it out.
but obviously not on a very large scale is
No,
what you're
I
saying.
have no intention to make it a large scale. At one point, we were going to use one of the outbuildings, my wife and I, were going to use one of the outbuildings to turn it into a commercial kennel. We were going to breed 3 or so different breeds of dogs. She got killed in a car accident on I-81, and my plans kind of went down the drain at that point. I had a black lab along with the Bijons, and now I basically have only the Bijons.
So how many dogs do you breed at a time?
I have 3 breeding females. I don't allow any of them to have more than 1 litter a year, if at all possible. Sometimes they get around me, but generally that's it. Right now, one of those is going to be retired very soon. She's going to be getting fixed. I have 4 breeding dogs and 2 non-breeding dogs, and there will be 3 and 3. I do not plan on, I mean, I'm 72 years old. This is not a business for me. I'm not trying to make money from it. I've just retired as a nurse from the state of Virginia, and I'm happy in my retirement. So, I mean, it's not anything that's going to expand. I have no plans of that any longer.
It is my hope that all breeders in their contract make to the owners that the dogs, any trouble the dogs will be, if they're returned to you, that you deal with those either and not put them on the SPCA's doors.
If that had been my dog, it was not my dog. It was a dog that I tried to help a friend out and get a dog that could breed with his female. He didn't even know how to do that. He had very serious problems.
So that is your practice when you get dogs back to place them in homes?
Yes. I gave away more dogs last year than I sold. am very careful where my dogs go. I have turned down more than one person with money in their hand. It has to be a good environment, right? My impression of a good environment. Or I won't do it.
Alrighty, thank you. Any other questions, gentlemen, comments? All right, thank you, sir, and I'll open the public hearing. Is there anybody?
There's no one signed up.
Okay, is there anybody online?
No one with a hand.
Okay, and is there anybody out there that would like to speak to this issue? All right. Then I will close the public hearing. And if there are no other comments or questions, I will,
I did have one
oh, yes.
question. I'm sorry for mostly again for Mr. Whitmore, Ms. Hanson, what y'all could remember. It seems to me that condition 5, solid waste disposal, that's generally, I thought, written a little differently in most of these permits, or and it says it can't go to the green boxes, or it can go in in their own container. Was there some reason that?
Well, that had come in more recently in these processes, mostly with larger operations and with larger breed dogs. But it's been something that I think we have looked at adding on a more regular basis, along with the signage. Of course, the boarding and grooming is in there or not, depending on what the applicant does. But the solid waste was a newer concern that people had, partly with just the number of boarding or kennel operations that we had received.
Right, and I thought, just from my recollection, that the language was different for the other ones. And it may not be just related to kennels, but anything, it shall not go in the green boxes.
Well, correct. For like event venues and things,
Yes.
same thing.
But that's not in here. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it says the same thing. If it says it shall be disposed of at landfill, it can't. That means it can't go in the other thing. But don't worry about it.
Correct.
If there's no, it doesn't sound like there was any particular train of thought that this is how the language ended up. It's just what it is.
And I'm trying to kind of mesh these two together between the event venue and this being potentially a biological type of concern or hazardous waste concern. It was written in there, the landfill.
And if I may, my recollection was that based on the previous kennel we had that's near the Buena Vista board, that's when this language was brought up specifically in the planning commission with the desire to include that in there. So I believe this is seem to be carrying forward to additional kennel applications, and they were specific to include the language. You're correct that this requires the disposal at a licensed landfill, which would then preclude it to be disposed of anywhere else.
Yeah, I guess I just want to make that clear. That's where that needs to go.
So I think you might be thinking of the ones for the special exception, special event venues, and that's all trash shall be taken directly to the landfill and not to county collection centers or county green boxes.
Yeah, I guess that's sort of the language that I was used to for solid waste disposal. But as Mr. Dryden confirmed, it's clear here, so I don't want to upset this apple cart. But just in the future, something more standard along those lines makes sense to me.
Okay.
So thank you for that. I would make a motion to approve.
Mr. Lewis, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Lyon?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
And I vote no. We will move on to, thank you, sir. We will move on to staff reports. Is there a motion to accept our staff reports?
So move.
Okay. Mr. McDaniel,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Lyons.
Yes.
Mr. Day.
Yes.
And I vote yes. And board comments. Are there any other board comments?
Just that, ask our citizens to be alert and aware as school starts with buses and transportation and stops being made, pay attention to your driving habits, and we hope that the children, teachers, administration, parents all have a wonderful school year.
All righty.
You did throw teachers in there, didn't you?
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Lyons,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. McDaniel,
Yes.
Mr. Day,
Yes.
and I vote yes.